Why is this pink?
Oh, is it a Valentine's Day special one?
Not pink enough.
Yeah, yeah. I did have it garishly pink and then I got a little bit upset. Hello and welcome to Back to the Drawing Board, an architecture podcast for architects and students. I'm your host, Phil Wontner-Smith, an architect and director at PWS Architecture and Design, and this is my my intern, Theo.
Hey.
Welcome to
Darling.
Season 3, episode
3?
3 or 4, because we're recording these not in order, apparently.
Well, Valentine's Day is the third day.
Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah, Monday, one
Exactly.
day, Tuesday. So this is the Valentine's Day special, in case that didn't give it away.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking today about buildings and love.
We're going to be talking about love.
Yeah.
What do you love, Phil? I personally love it when you wake up in the morning, you know, put your socks on, and you sit down for breakfast, and the yogurt isn't off. What do you love?
I'm going off on a tangent, apparently. I don't know. I don't know
Phil,
what I love. Phil
Can you
love it.
feel...
It's
Do
hard
you
to-
know what love is?
I want to know what love is.
You've got a wife,
Yeah, obviously I love my wife, I love my kids, I just don't know.
so you're
What to pick.
more ahead than I am.
Yeah, but I can't just go.
In the game of
I don't want to pick the obvious. Love my kids, love my wife. Like my job, love my job even. Oop.
Do you?
I tolerate my job.
You sure about that?
I like having 3 meals a day and a roof over my head.
Yeah, but that's not love. You know what is love? Designing a building for your favourite wife.
Your favourite wife.
You know when you have multiple, but one of them just stands head and shoulders above the rest, and she bears 14 of your kids, but on the 14th kid she sadly passes away. So you build for her one of the most incredible, well-known monuments across the globe and the most important cultural symbol in all of India. The greatest mosque ever to be built, the Taj Mahal. That's love.
Honestly, I've never been more impressed by you. That was incredible.
I will probably put some pictures up.
So what we've got
It's
in
not a
terms of
slideshow,
this
unfortunately.
Valentine's Day special is different ways in which architecture and love go together. So not
Yeah.
necessarily just focusing on buildings that have been built for lovers, for wives, for husbands, for whatever.
Buildings which have had their meanings changed by it, which culture, my microphone's too far away, which have had, now it's, oh
Are
no.
we still going?
Yeah, we're still good.
The buildings that have had their meanings changed, they've given a cultural significance just based on love, which obviously we'll come to in a minute. And obviously we have now jumped off with the Taj Mahal
Yeah.
in Agra, India.
Yeah.
Um,
And so it was
in
built.
case you didn't catch it before, that seamless transition.
Thank you so much. It was
Built.
built by Emperor Shah Jahan for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, which is where obviously Mahal comes from.
Yep. Do we know what Taj means?
Yes.
Do we have a translation for that?
No.
Excellent.
It's something like epic. It's to say that she's the chosen one around the palace, to say she is like the superior wife, basically, which is, I mean, fair play.
Fair
14 kids, Jesus, and yeah, like every element of this thing is
I'm
symmetrical.
guessing they didn't have a TV license.
No, they don't. No.
Construction began in 1632. I didn't realise it was that old.
Took 12 years to build the tomb itself, and then a further 10 years to finish the rest of this complex. Which is insane.
The Taj
22
Mahal,
years.
crown of the palace.
Yeah,
Is
so
it?
that's her saying she's like chief,
Yeah, ivory
chief
white.
wife.
I love the fact that it's a mausoleum.
Yeah, and a
What
mosque.
a way to do it. Is it
Yeah.
a mosque?
Yeah, well, I think there's a mosque included.
Comes with it.
Yeah, and there is a rumor that he was going to have because it's built along the river something.
Yep.
I'm
River
guessing.
something.
I'm guessing you have some information up there. So you
Well,
can-
it's a bank
can
of the
correct
river Yamuna. Yamuna?
Yeah, it was said this whole temple is like completely like pure white, except from like of the gold details
Yeah.
on the exterior. And it was said he was going to build an identical one out of black marble for when he died, but then he got overthrown by his son, and his son buried him. He put his the emperor's tomb next to his wife's tomb. Bear in mind, the whole building was built symmetrical. Her
Yeah.
tomb was built in the center, and his was built just off to the side. And apparently, it's the only part of the entire thing which isn't symmetrical. How upsetting is that?
Brutal.
Imagine. Oh, at least he was dead before he found
You're
out.
gonna need to fact check that, just in case.
Yeah.
But bloody
Well,
hell.
no, there's pictures of the tomb.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's one of them things. If anyone who's there right now can tell us.
Yeah, well, bloody hell. That's incredible. I mean, so there's a lot of, like, obviously it gets millions of visitors every year. It's become one of the prominent images associated with India, and has become a symbol of India itself.
Yeah.
God, imagine making a building that symbolizes your entire nation.
Yeah, that'd be mint. It's like you think what famous building is there in India? The Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
It's insane, and it's massive. Is it the biggest mosque? I mean,
no,
it itself
it's not. It probably possibly may have been at some point. Well, the building that's next to it's the mosque, isn't it?
Yeah, true. But I mean, you just look at it and you think, I would love the Lego model. For a while, the Lego model was the biggest Lego set around, and then it got trumped by, I believe, the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, which, if you're listening, Hannah, you still need to finish building.
Yeah, good time at
That'd be nice.
Um,
Excellent. I mean, when you think of love, there are some languages that may come to mind, such as French,
Yeah.
which leads us on to the Point des Arts.
Somebody don't speak French.
Pont des Arts in
Point
Paris.
des Arts.
Pont des Arts in Paris, France.
So this is the bridge that leads into the Louvre, across the River Seine and into the Louvre. And then on the other side of it, you can see, kind of off in the distance, Notre Dame, unless recently there's been a fire and they're still rebuilding it. But that's due to be finished.
But that would
this
never
year.
happen, right?
That would never happen. No, I like that we're trying to claim that as our own. Just don't show any toilets and it's legit. No, that's Taj. Not talking about that anymore. The Notre Dame Cathedral's due to be rebuilt this year.
Yes, I know.
Like
So,
finished, yeah, which is pretty good. But yeah, the Pont des Arts, which is the correct French pronunciation, is this bridge that leads across the Seine to the Louvre, and it's famous for having love locks on it, for what people have done to it. It was never built as like a love symbol, and it wasn't even an original idea for people to put it on that bridge. It had already been done. But if you look for bridges where people put love locks on, that's like the first one that comes up. Yeah. And it's famously actually been quite bad for the bridge.
yes.
It's broken it, it's warped it, and they've had to. I think they had to rebuild it in the 80s, but I think that was a separate thing. I think that was from wear and tear. And it was originally built with 9 arches, and now it's only got 7. But that was
because the weight of the locks had crumbled 2 of them. Oh no, because it was done by, was it Napoleon that had commissioned 9? Or am I just?
I'm not sure.
Feels like a fact that I know
It's
that may or may not be right.
You got that computer there, Phil. I say.
Should probably Google it, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
Quick,
yeah. Phil's used
quick!
to.
Everyone onto Wikipedia.
Phil's used to being Google, so actually having to Google things himself is
Between
rare.
1802 and 1804, under the government of Napoleon Bonaparte, a 9-arch metallic bridge for pedestrians was constructed at the location of the present-day Mont des Arts. This was the first metal bridge in Paris. The engineers Louis Alexandre de Cassat and Jacques Dillon initially conceived a bridge that would resemble a suspended garden with trees, banks of flowers, benches.
It doesn't do that.
Across. It doesn't anymore. I'm trying to look at this. They've got some photos of it from like 1887, where I think it's the original 9. Potentially.
Oh, right. And does it have?
Maybe. No, I don't think it does.
The main thing you find is these love locks, because it's got these railings, and you look at the pictures of it and you think that's a solid wall.
Yeah.
And it's literally like got
Have
to the
you
point
ever
where it's-
been?
No.
Oh, we went with uni in, I want to say, second year to
Yeah.
Paris.
I've never been
From
in
what I
any
remember
France.
between the drinking, Like we went to places like that. Obviously, we went to the Louvre and the Arc de Triomphe and all that kind of stuff, looking at various architecture across Paris. But that was a really interesting thing because there's a point where you start walking across it and you sort of see them, and you can't help but kind of be a bit nosy and look at the names that are on it and so see like all of these different people.
and Linda.
It puts Claude and Claudette. It really puts into like perspective because you don't often feel this. When you even like in a big building like a big library or a visitor centre, you don't often feel that millions of people have been or are there.
Yeah.
Whereas with that, there's almost like an obvious...
People have been here.
Yeah.
And to think that's been cleared so many times and then it's like still like completely being recovered again.
Has it actually been cleared before, has it?
Yeah. I was watching a little video about it earlier and it came up with, it was cleared in 2010. Brackets, not by the government. And I was like, oh, okay, but yeah, because it's broken the bridge before, it's broken the railings, and they've had to repair it
in February of 2014
because they're just so heavy because they're these steel locks, and obviously one's not that bad, but when you cover it in this weight, it's not meant to have.
So in February of 2014, it was estimated that there were over 700,000 locks. With the 2014 summer tourism season. Many thousands more have since been added, creating serious safety concerns for the city authorities and aesthetic issue for Parisians. Get over it.
Aesthetically, it looks nice. Mine, when I think of love locks on a bridge, my mind instantly goes to the high level bridge across the Tyne. Yeah, no, I've seen love locks on there before, and I think you could have gone to the Tyne Bridge, but sure, whatever.
So by 2014, concern was being expressed about the possible damage the weight of the locks was doing to the structure of the bridge. In May, the newly elected mayor, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, announced that she was taking...
It's going to be something like John.
Yeah, it's Anne Hidalgo. That sounds Italian to me. Announced that she was taking her first deputy mayor, Bruno Junard, with finding alternatives to love locks in Paris in June. Part of
love promises.
How about just actually staying with someone for once? In June, part of the parapet of the bridge collapsed under the weight of all the padlocks that had been attached to it.
You put a lock on a bridge to symbolise your eternal love. And then someone just goes and chops it off. You're like, oh, you see someone with a pair of bolt cutters, and you think, oh, does that release you?
Probably. You think you're legally obliged to go back with a bolt cutter when you break up with them.
Yeah, definitely.
As of 2015, it's estimated over 1 million locks have been placed, weighing approximately 45 tons.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Bloody hell! Street artists such as various people, Jace L. Seed, Brusque, and Pantonio have been chosen to paint the new panels that replaces the old railings with locks.
Oh, so they're actually gonna
apparently so
put panels on so that you can't attach locks to it. Yeah. That's a shame, isn't it? Though that's a shame that for a nice reason, it's kind of been ruined.
Yeah, there's a few things like there's some pop culture references in here. So you've got the bridge was used in the last scene of the 1995 film Sabrina and appeared on the 2004 finale of Sex and the City. Bridge is also featured.
I know how you love Sex and the City film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can't get enough of it.
The bridge has also been featured in 2013 Hollywood heist adventure Now You See Me.
That's a good one.
That was a good film, actually. I'll give you that.
They played with cards in that.
Yeah.
And Mark Zuckerberg was in it.
Nice. Was he? The Lizard King himself?
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Wasn't he one of the wizards?
I don't know. One of the wizards. Magician. Are you actually Googling it? I don't think he was. I think you're thinking of Jesse Eisenberg or whatever he's called.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right, okay.
Oh, and the Hulk was in it as well?
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, I didn't realise the Hulk was in it. While we're in France, let's take a trip down south to Italy. While we're in France, let's leave.
South to Italy.
See? Which is Spanish for yes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure that if you...
Yeah.
Are you on it?
Maybe not directly south because Spain's directly underneath it, but it's definitely...
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said sea, I was like, yes.
Europe's like... Italy's like the tip of the south of Europa. I can feel the audience glaring
it's
at me.
100% not. Well, it's slightly south. I'll give you that. But it's
completely south.
It's mostly east.
Yeah, southeast. Have you ever heard of that?
It's east.
We're south of Glasgow, but we're also east. I work with idiots.
I hate you so much. Right.
You can be south and east. You can be two directions from something.
Yeah, I know, but you went, if we go south of France, well, if we go south of France,
Well, you'll be in the water. I'm sorry.
yeah. You're either drowning in Africa or in Spain.
Or in Italy.
Oh.
You're not gonna go east. All right, let's go southeast of France. Make things complicated.
Just say east.
Let's go to Italy. Listen, who likes Shakespeare? Not me.
No southern border of France hits onto Italy. The eastern border does.
What about the southern part of the east? Monaco. Tell me which country that's in. Anyway, let's take a journey out of France. Oh, you've ruined it.
I can show you the
Phil, do you like reading? What's your favourite book? Do you like romance novels?
No.
Tragedies? You
No.
love a tragedy.
I just like the outcome of tragedy, yeah.
One of my favourite tragedies is Romeo and Juliet. I wonder what gave him, that Shakespeare lad, that inspiration for that scene where Romeo's confessing his love to Juliet on that balcony. What would you call that balcony? You could call it Juliet's balcony.
Yeah. We
Have you ever designed one of them?
oh god, we shoehorn them into loads
We'd
of
love a
designs.
Juliet balcony. The audience is currently designing a Juliet balcony. Our new audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know which one she's on about.
Luckily, we introduced the audience to themselves in episode 2, so they'll understand.
Yeah, they'll get this reference. If you're a long time listener, you'll understand.
Yeah, our long-time listeners from 3 episodes ago. Oh no, one episode ago.
Hi, Mum.
Oh god.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, this one was. I mean, the balcony existed before Shakespeare used it as inspiration for it. Because
Do we know that?
No.
For sure? Or are we just saying it? It's a Gothic-style 1300s house and museum with a stone balcony that is said to have inspired Shakespeare. So I'm going to assume it came first.
I mean, he was from England, wasn't he? So
Yeah,
he
that's
might
true.
he might have never seen it.
Yeah, that, and if he did see it, he'd probably be in the British Museum because he'd have stolen it.
Yeah, true that. Anyway, that was built.
Did you like that one? Did you?
I like the political correctness in this podcast.
The what?
We don't know that much about politics.
No. I know about the politics in episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars. That's about as far as I get.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all the politics you need.
Star Wars are. It's just space politics.
Damn right.
God, you could talk about the love in Star Wars, right?
That's not.
Incest. Bread.
Yeah.
No. So obviously this thing had been built, and then was Shakespeare. You might have heard of him. You have. Came along, wrote a book about it.
I'm pretty sure any English speaker will, because that's probably what they've been taught to learn in school.
But yeah, basically it was
It was
suddenly written into like the most important English pop culture that this one balcony symbolizes love.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a pretty powerful way to do it. Never mind having loads of people decide this is the bridge to go to lock your love onto. This one geezer, Shakespeare, one geezer will, when
Big Will.
what lad will, just when, yeah, big lad Bill, just when, look, love, and where art thou, love? Where art thou, Romeo? And
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you
Romeo
think-
went, oh, I'm here.
Charlie. It's probably, when you think to yourself, what's like the most iconic scene of
A
what's the more-
love romance novel.
It's
film.
got to be the bit of Juliet going, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?"
Yeah, and how many times has that been ripped off by Family Guy?
And Simpsons and every other
thing.
yeah, film, television, radio, everything. So it's stolen that because it's iconic, and the irony is that we're stealing that iconic scene from someone who stole the iconic idea from somewhere else, namely Verona.
Well, it was so the whole thing was set in fair Verona, which I assume is why this balcony in Verona is assumed. Do you reckon it's like the only balcony in Verona?
It can't be.
It can't.
It cannot be.
It could.
Could.
Is it? All right, guys, quick Google search.
Is this the only
Many
balcony?
balconies in Verona.
But I think since it's obviously become part of like a ceremonious pilgrimage that people go on, for lovers to go and see this balcony.
Yeah, you're allowed to stand on it.
Are you?
Oh, that's gotta be even worse than going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
That's
People
gonna
would stand going like that, doing the Hamlet pose.
That's gonna come. That's the wrong pose.
Where do you reckon Tempest Island was based off?
Do you reckon we should go to the balcony and get a photo and just change all of the branding? Just you and me stood on the Juliet balcony together.
Doing the speech.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wherefore art thou, Theo?
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? She smelled something a bit fishy when she met him. Wherefore art thou?
Wherefore art thou, War Theo? Come with me across the seas, across the Atlantic, probably across France again, to the Empire State Building in none other than the Big Apple itself, USA.
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 I think probably the most iconic way in which this has been forced into pop culture as a love icon has been An Affair to Remember and Sleepless in Seattle.
I think it's King Kong. In case you haven't guessed, we're talking about the one, the only, the Elf. Empire State Building.
Elf the White.
and also Elf.
It's returned as Empire State Building the White.
Yeah, I mean, that was... The fact that it's Art Deco from the 20s kind of helps because that's such a luxury romance style.
It was a love of craft and making.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were making love to that craft. And... already,
not to be confused with Lovecraftian.
Yeah. It's like obviously it wasn't a symbol of love, but you could look at it and think that, and then clearly so many filmmakers have, and because it's such an iconic building in the New York skyline, it is like the building for the New York skyline. Never mind One World Trade Center, which is like bigger than it. Yeah, it's you think of it and you're gonna think.
Well, it was a trendsetter for architecture to come.
What came first, that or Chrysler Building? I thought Chrysler Building was first. If you want to talk about setting trends,
1930. It was the tallest from 1930 to 1931, superseded by the Empire State Building. So I'm assuming it came first.
Construction started 1930.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, there's no two ways around it. It's a pretty iconic building.
Yeah.
I like that your notes say it has been turned into a symbol of romance in films such as Sleepless in Seattle and Elf.
Well, yeah, because that's where he finds his dad. And love isn't always about romantic love. Sometimes it's about unconditional love, which Elf's dad, Buddy the Elf's dad, learns about throughout the film.
I've never seen Elf.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You've never seen...
I've never seen Elf. Ironically, when Hannah and I got engaged unofficially, we did think about doing a trip to New York to do an official engagement.
New York. You've got to do ice skating around the base of it.
Can you imagine me ice skating?
Can you? Yes.
Can the audience stop laughing, please? It wouldn't even be that gracious. It would just be, ice.
I need to turn my thingies off because everyone's trying to get...
Yeah, I'm getting loads of phone calls.
I'm so popular. You're going to be popular. Oh, you won't get that? You won't get that? You don't get anything. You're without joy. Phil. But yeah, I mean, Empire State Building was never built as a symbol of love. And it was never created as a symbol of love by one simple thing in the way that Juliet's balcony was by that one play. And in the way that... Taj Mahal was built
purposely as a symbol of love. Yeah,
it's by so many by just being such an iconic building. People have changed it through pop culture, through all sorts of movies, and it's set a trend for itself of being a romantic symbol. And it's one of them things you could go to and propose to someone at. I think in the great TV show How I Met Your Mother, someone is proposed to, but I could be wrong, so I'm not gonna. Don't quote me.
So they even do Valentine's Day celebrations.
Makes so much
sense.
That
includes tower lighting giveaways, month-long special offers for visitors during the February months. You can set up and pay for specific services to allow you to propose at the Empire State Building, called the Happily Ever Empire Package. It must be booked at least 24 hours in advance.
They should call it Happily Empire After.
Up to 3 people proposal packages can be scheduled per day. Oh, sorry. I thought it was going to say up to 3
proposals.
No, as in 3 people could be involved in the proposal. Guys.
Well, yeah, because one person could be filming it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just polyamorous.
Bit of a throuple.
I rate that.
Cut that.
That would never happen.
That would never happen.
But yeah, it's pretty wicked if you ask me.
But yeah, I mean, in 1931, it was the tallest building in the world, eclipsing both the Chrysler Building and the Eiffel Tower. It's still the fourth tallest building in the world.
No, it's not.
No, it can't be.
Top
I was just looking at
5.
eight fascinating facts from thecollector.com. So it was once the tallest building in the world.
No, it's not.
Once the tallest.
No, I mean, it's not currently, sorry.
No, well, no, it's not currently. It was once the tallest building in the world. It's
Probably not even in the top 50.
Its height of 381 meters or 440. Oh, if you take the spire into consideration, 443 meters.
One World Trade Center is 6, so it's not going to be any higher than that.
It's 6.
Yeah.
Just 6 meters tall.
No, it's the 6th tallest in the world.
I was going to say the fourth.
It's exactly 1,776 meters tall because independence.
Oh, wow.
Do you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a very important thing. Imagine accidentally building the spire like 1 foot too tall.
Oh, dude, it was designed by Shreve Lamb and Harmon. Yeah, exactly. The architect Shreve Lamb and Harmon were responsible. Do you know what's really weird? I know, I love things like the Flatiron and stuff, but I didn't realize, I don't even know who that was designed by until now. We're responsible for creating the building's iconic design. Architect William Lamb was the chief architect, and he modelled the design on 2 of his earlier projects: Winston-Salem, the Reynolds Building, in North Carolina, and the Carew Tower in Cincinnati. Yeah. Ooh. Art Deco is designed based on a pencil.
Yeah.
The Art Deco design is based on a pencil.
Yeah.
It took 20 months to complete. Isn't that the one with the iconic picture of the guys on the steel in midair eating lunch?
Chrysler.
Is that the Chrysler? Or is
I
it
think
not
so.
the Empire? Oh well. And then the lobby is a historic landmark. Its upper mast was once a mooring mast for airships.
Really?
Yeah. I'm looking at a really badly drawn hand picture of it. Not that I could draw a hand any better. The Empire State Building was damaged during World War II. A bomber crashed into the Empire State Building, triggering a huge explosion, causing a fire in several of the building's upper levels. Bloody hell. And then, 8. King Kong helped secure the Empire State Building's fame. In 1933, King Kong movie secured the building's fame. In the film's final scene, the giant ape climbs a colossal tower while aeroplanes attempt to bring him down, creating one of the most memorable and iconic movie sequences of all time. And as Theo says, that is one of the ultimate love scenes. Are you okay there, buddy?
It's the Chrysler.
It's the Chrysler. Ah, no.
Oh, wait. Is it? I mean, I'm sure it's the Chrysler. Didn't want to tell us.
Lunch atop a skyscraper is what the image is called. It's in Manhattan. It was publicity stunt as part of promoting the skyscraper during the construction of the Rockefeller Center.
Oh, we were really wrong.
Yeah, I know. We were miles out. Yeah, we were only a couple of years out.
And we probably weren't that far geographically.
Well, no, because it's also in New York.
They've got a beam atop it now. They've got a beam on top. They have a beam atop the picture where you can go and sit on it and take your picture with it.
Jesus.
That's funny. So, while we're in New York, in America, we're going to take a trip over on a plane to Las Vegas and look up at one of the famous attractions and think how nice it would be if we were in the real place. And while we're looking at this fake replica of the Eiffel Tower, we're going to fly back on over to France.
I wondered where that was going at first. I'm going to say that strip along Las Vegas is basically the British Museum of Buildings.
Yeah.
Stole everyone else's stuff and claimed it as our own.
Yeah, they've got the Arc de Triomphe in there, I'm pretty sure. The Pyramids of Giza. Yeah, I like Giza. And so much more, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Eiffel Tower. I think it must be one of the most proposed in front of buildings ever.
I always see people doing we're going to go to Paris. And
You're
it's
going
like
to
couples
London,
that I've been friends with since or couples that I know have been together for long enough that I think they're probably going to get engaged soon. As soon as they announce that, that's it.
Yeah, you think, you go into France, you go into Paris, pretty Paris, you're probably going to propose at the Eiffel Tower. Paris is truly the city loved with the most proposals.
All right, yeah.
Okay, it says there are between 7,000 and 10,000 proposals at the Eiffel Tower every year.
10,000. What's 10,000 by 365? That's got to be what?
It
30?
says there are 5 to 10 documented proposals every day.
Jesus. What?
Meaning that, with that being the documented ones, there are probably 20 every day, according to this.
I'm pretty sure, like, in 1887, when it was first built, that wasn't there.
It was a temporary structure. It was built for the World's Fair in Paris.
Yeah, the Paris World's Fair, named after Mr. Gustave Eiffel himself.
Yeah, he was the lead engineer. Obviously, you look at that thing. They only had one architect in the team, and he designed the cafe in the middle. And apparently, he had to fight for it because they were like,
right.
"No, it's not meant to be a tourist. You meant to look at it. You're not meant to go in it." And he's like, "Come on, guys, let's do a cafe."
The Iron Magician is what he was nicknamed.
He was really famous for working with steel in that very beautiful.
I wonder
way.
why.
Have you seen is it the Eiffel Bridge, or is that just kind of what it's known as because he designed it? The one I'm actually looking at is called the Garabit Viaduct, which is made out of this beautiful red steel. It is very hot.
A symbol of Paris is 2.5 million rivets.
But yeah, that was something that was never built for love, and it was never built to last. Unlike love. Do you think love's meant to last? I do.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
I'm trying to find a reason
No
for
more.
why it's become like that symbol. There's a lot of things saying that it's
Well,
from any angle that you look at it, it's got two props that come together into one, which I think's
I think Paris.
tangible.
Paris is known of the city of amour, or love for you non-bilingual
French
speakers.
and French being the language of love.
Yeah, exactly. It's somehow France has managed to make itself all lovey-dovey, and Paris has managed to get even more. And it's not even like, in terms of buildings, the most iconic city. Like when you've got somewhere like Rome. Why isn't Rome? But Rome's the city of religion, probably.
Yeah,
but no, let's face it, Jerusalem is the city of religion. Wow, think about that.
I stopped listening for 2 seconds and we've gone to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can have a proposal program with light projections, themed phone call, a Parisian bubble.
A themed phone call?
Yeah, don't ask.
I'm asking.
A Parisian bubble lined with heart-shaped balloons and special love notes on post-its.
That's intense.
Yeah, it's a bit far. But yeah, so I'll say phone call, photo call.
Oh, I was thinking.
Sorry, guys.
What's the themed phone call? Someone, you give them their number, they ring up and they go, "Oh, did you say yes?" And you go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, good."
So you can get a souvenir to declare or maintain your undying love, a silver or gold bracelet, cuff bracelet, eau de parfum, or pretty cases for ladies.
Sorry, can I just check? Isn't the standard symbol of your undying love a ring?
Yes. I was just trying to see if there's any more like reasoning behind it. It just says like things like Eiffel Tower made with love. Gustave Eiffel, the engineer and designer behind this beautiful creation, was a total romantic at heart. He married at the age of 30, having waited to meet the love of his life, and tragically his wife passed away only 15 years later. As many do, to deal with the grief, he poured his time and energy into his work. He spent the last 30 years of his life at the Eiffel Tower making incredible scientific achievements and advancements, including an apartment at the tower's summit where he entertained guests and where he often spent the night.
Fair play.
Because Gustave never remarried, many say that the Eiffel Tower became his second wife.
That is romantic.
And then as I scroll through, it's like people like to take photos of the thing, people like to propose at the top of it, people like to propose in front of it.
It's also, perhaps, it's phallic, and for that reason.
Oh, for God's sake. There are several stories of romance at the Eiffel Tower, from tragic love to one woman who tried to marry the tower.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
When I heard about that.
This lass tried to. Well, I mean, you've said it. She tried to marry the tower.
Oh right. Oh, I didn't know that.
I assume there's more to the story, but
apparently, according to Instagram. Oh, sorry. Yeah, according to Instagram. 1 in 679 proposals on Instagram are at the Eiffel Tower.
Really,
Bloody hell.
that's intense. Well, we've done Europe, but we live in England, in the United Kingdom. I think we should take a hop, skip, and a ferry across the tunnel, get in a nice car, drive up the coast up to Glasgow, where we can visit the House for an Art Lover. and that's designed by the one, the only, Charles Rennie Mackintosh. And he designed it with his wife for a competition.
This isn't in the show notes.
No, it's not.
Go on then.
Yeah, his wife was an artist, and she was named Margaret MacDonald. And
Start that again.
Charles Rennie Mackintosh designed House for an Art Lover with his wife for his wife. She was called Margaret MacDonald. She was an artist, and so the idea was the interior was kind of designed for her. It wasn't actually built until about 90 years after he died, which is some tragic love story in itself. But it was designed for a competition being run by this German company, and they were disqualified.
Haus eines Kunstfounders or Art Lover's House.
And they were disqualified because there weren't enough visual renders of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very intense building when you look at all of the symbolism. It's basically the two of them had a bit of a thing for the female part. And so any symbolism from his work or from her work are all representing it. And you can see it in like the windows. It's meant to be
in the windows?
In the wall.
How is it? So how is it in the windows? I'm looking at the front elevation of it now. God, it's massive.
Where on their stained glass things, some of them are plain. You got to find the ones.
Okay, so I'm looking for something in particular.
Yes.
Okay, so I've given up already.
But the way the curves are, kind of, it's all very much inspired. Their artwork is based off very natural human forms, which kind of gives it that more intense. Romantic might not necessarily be the correct word, but it's certainly passionate, and their passion definitely went into that building.
So how did it manage to get? So it was designed in 1901 and opened in 1996. How the heck did it manage to get to a point where someone 95 years later went, I think we should build this building?
Charles Rennie Mackintosh is the icon of Glasgow.
No, I know that.
All of his works had been so famous. It was like going, well, we've got his plans for the building. We've got all of the details for the building. Let's make it. So the design work is original. It's all his design, but obviously it was built after his death. It's almost one of them, like Vincent van Gogh becoming famous once he died. It kind of, he'd become famous, he died, and they went, well, we still have unbuilt designs. We still have the correct site available. We have all the materials available, so they built it. And it's now used as a wedding venue. Tell me what's more romantic than that? Designing a house for your wife, and years after your death, it's used for other people to get married.
And for other people to symbolise their love.
Yeah. I wonder, has it ever been...
For more than 80 years, Mackintosh's concept remained merely that, an unrealised design on paper, until 1989, Graham Roxburgh, the consulting engineer responsible for restoring Mackintosh's interiors in nearby Craigie Hall, had the idea to finally build the house for an art lover. The drawings which Mackintosh produced, although very detailed for a competition entry, were not intended as technical plans from which an actual house could be built, and the task of interpreting and turning them into reality was challenge which faced Roxburgh's team of architects led by Professor Andy Macmillan, then head of architecture at Mackintosh's world-renowned Glasgow School of Art. Yeah.
That's pretty romantic.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. I love that he is like the staple of Glasgow architecture.
Well, if you founded the School of Art, what do you expect?
Yeah. Well.
I loved that.
I love you.
No, don't. Why would you ruin things?
I think on that note, thank you for watching. Good night. No.
Thanks for joining us on the Valentine's special
that.
of 2024.
You don't do that. Thanks for joining us on this episode. If you're listening on any podcasting platforms, please consider leaving us a review. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Back to the Drawing Board IG.
And please consider subscribing to our Patreon for as little as £1 a month for bonus content, longer episodes, and to help build our community.
We'll see you next time when we return back to the drawing board.